A pleasure to talk to you about this film and the homage that it pays to, all the movies that we've all loved and have informed our passion for cinema. So was that your first, loving thing to do with this, just paying tribute to old films?
I mean, it was just an organic story, the way Steve Knight came into my office one day 6-7 years ago and pitched this story to me. And he actually only got halfway through the story, and I was like, "Stop! Go and write that screenplay. I want to make that movie." Of course, I said to my team, this is a throwback film. This is a film that will remind audiences of how movies were when we were growing up, and certainly the love story portion of it and the backdrop of Casablanca. But it wasn't like we watched Casablanca over and over or anything like that.
No, absolutely, and it does feel like there's a fresh feel to it. Obviously, in modern times, how difficult are these films to make structurally?
Right. Well, I think what really makes a difference, and when you look at period pieces, is that the period can seem old, but the dialogue seems fresh and new, and that's what Steve did so well. He created this world in the 1940s, but the dialogue is for a modern day audience. I think they'll understand the dialogue. It's, like I said, it's fresh.
What informed mostly the casting, the physicality of the actors, because you can transport them into this time, or obviously their talent as actors, or all of the above?
When you have a great screenplay, it's not hard to cast a film because there just isn't that many great screenplays in Hollywood anymore. That's why I think one sees so many sequels and remakes. It's original storytelling, and people always say to me when I. It's not like people stop me on the street, but they say to me, would love to see original storytelling and a movie that kind of throws back. And that's what this leads into. And, Bob Zemeckis saw that very at an early stage. And then Brad and Miriam, when they came on board, they came on board because of Steve's script and because of the words on that page and wanting to play these characters. What
were the most glamorous and the most challenging locations to go to?
Well, certainly... glamour-wise, we went down to Las Palmas and we had the embassy there and just the scene where Brad walks, outside the embassy and looking at the party. Mostly everything else was shot on a soundstage because that's what Bob does so brilliantly well. And so we were out in Acton. And soundstage, and we had camels and donkeys, and it was 1940s Casablanca, the scene right outside the cafe, and it was just stunning to be there and see kind of the old-fashioned filmmaking.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I was looking at Marion and Brad, and it does feel like they have this quality of, the old-fashioned movie star, the way they were in the 40s and the 50s.
Right.
Do you appreciate that quality about them? Do you think you can transport them into any era?
Oh,
Are they timeless?
Yes, I think actors can be transported, and we show it all the time as part of what they do.
Yeah.
But again, I think this was about them falling in love with those words that Steve Knight wrote and just coming together. We spent 2 or 3 weeks in a room before we started shooting with myself and Bob and Brad and Miriam, and they were getting to know each other and building their chemistry for the film. And I think it was the best 2 or 3 weeks we spent, because when they got on to shooting the film, they had already had a relationship from spending that time together and that closeness together and kind of going through lines and going through scenes and Bob leading rehearsals.
What was most engaging for you in terms of the story? What aspect of the story were you most interested in telling? Because obviously there's been so many stories about World War II, but this is such a fresh
aspect. But I think the World War II is a backdrop. This could have been during any conflict time, even the Cold Wars, and for me, it was about 2 people that meet, they fall in love, and then something's not quite right. And what is that? And I think, it's very dangerous, by the way, because when you change genres in film, it becomes dangerous for an audience to keep grasping to. And we do that. We start with this love story in the first act. These 2 people meet under extreme circumstances and they just fall in love. And the tension's there, the love tension's there. And then gradually during the film, that shifts to another kind of tension. Is she or isn't she? And a kind of a cat and mouse game of Max really questioning the loyalty of his wife.
Yeah, difficult decisions in life.
Yes.
As a producer, do you enjoy making those big epic movies? Is it fun for you, or more of a headache, at some point?
Oh, I love it. I love it. And whether it's Gangs in New York, where we built 6 miles in New York in Rome, or making a film with a huge ensemble cast like The Departed, and the town. But I love making big Hollywood films. That's kind of what I do.
No, absolutely, and very well. And awards, how much do they matter to you? Are they part of the package of making films like that, or just not something that...
No, I learned at a very young age in this business to not really think about that. You know, I made, when we made Gangs of New York and Aviator, I kept saying to the people on set, you know, we're going to go for the awards and go for the awards, and I was really excited about it, and, you know, went through that whole thing. And then I remember making The Departed and saying to Marty, you know, could you imagine us showing this to the Academy? They're going to throw me out the room, and look what happened.
Look what happened,
so
exactly.
I learned to keep my mouth shut.
Yeah, exactly. It's always in the most unexpected ways and all these things.
Right.
And finally, what are you most proud of in Allied? That it's the most different film that we've seen this year, or?
I'm proud of first of all, I'm very proud of the studio taking the risk of making this kind of film in today's world. And second of all, I'm just proud of Bob and Miriam and Brad, and we had an amazing team on the film. And we all kind of become a family when you make a film, and everyone got on great. There was no fighting or anything like that. And I'm just proud of the film. I mean, I love to present films where you can hold your head up high and, you know, you can be proud of, and this adds to the collection.